Hello, dear friends. It is so nice to be here together with all of you. This is our daily prayer program at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Kardec Radio. My name is Daisy Galan, and we are here together with you today for this beautiful session. We will, as always, open with a short prayer. We will read a beautiful message from this book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life. And then we will do a final prayer and a visualization with all of you at the end. So thank you for joining us. And I will just check here our systems to make sure everything is working. And I hope it is. Yes, if you guys can just let me know if the sound is okay. And great, see great friends here. So, dear friend, this time, 6 p.m., is such a special time in our hearts. And we have seen throughout André Luiz books how special this time is because it's the time of our Mother Mary in the spiritual realm, in the colonies, the guides, spiritual guides and mentors, and everyone, they reunite together to pray together in this beautiful moment at 6 p.m. So we invite you, all of you, to where you are, if you can take a few minutes of your day to stop what you're doing. The mentors will know this is the right time to be there with you by your side. And we recommend, if you want to put a glass of water right next to you, so water can be blessed. If you want to, you can drink the water later. And it's a true healing moment for all of us. And we are entering this current to really help the spiritual guides, not only to help ourselves, but our whole planet, who is in great need in this dear time for help, for prayers, for good vibrations. In all of us, we are invited to be part of that higher vibration, so that we can help our whole humanity. So with that, we'll start with a short prayer before we read today's message. So we invite you, if you can, to close your eyes and truly feel your heart beating. How many times we forget that our heart's there every day, pumping, supporting our lives. And let's connect now our beautiful heart to God. Dear loving God, in the midst of our lives, of our daily chores, we stop in this very moment to connect with you, to feel the showers of blessings, and to recognize how much we have in our lives to be grateful for. But you also know, dear Father, what troubles our hearts and minds, our physical, spiritual, temporary shortcomings. So we pray that this very moment we can not only receive your blessings, but also multiply it for those across our planet who are suffering at that very moment. And with your guidance, we ask for your protection as you grant us the permission to start these beautiful moments of prayer and study for our mortal souls. And so be it. So, dear friends, right now we have a beautiful message from this book right here, The Way, the Truth, and the Life, brought to us by Emmanuel through our dear Chico Xavier, which we are so grateful for all his dedication and work so that we can have these treasures in our hands. So today's message is titled, Do Not Forget. If you have this book in your home and you want to follow along with us, is message number 113. So in John, we have, because of him, Lazarus, many of the Jews were defecting and putting their faith in Jesus. The Gospel of John states that many people were going to Bethany in search of the Master, not only to get a look at him personally, but also to see Lazarus, who had been taken from the tomb. In doing this, many of them end up being transformed, thus angering the Pharisees. This remembrance by the apostle is invaluable. The situation today is exactly the same, however. The soul that turns to Christ has almost always been resuscitated by his love, thus escaping the darkness of the intellectual nightmares that cause the death of the sentiments. Many people are dead, buried in graves of indifference, selfishness, and denial. Like Lazarus, when a person has the fortune of being touched by Christ, everyone becomes curious about his or her attitudes. They all want to know in what ways he or she has changed. Therefore, if Jesus has blessed you, if the Lord has raised you up from the dust of earth to the knowledge of life eternal, then remember that most of your friends will have some knowledge of the Master, but they are not yet ready to understand him fully. Like Lazarus, you will be a point of direct observation for all of them. They will only begin to see the clarity of the true faith through you and acknowledge the power of Jesus due to your transformation. Thus, if you have been called by the Lord of life, it is up to you either to remain in the tomb of the death or to be raised for the edification of those around you. What a beautiful message, right, dear friends? And for me, there are two big highlights on this beautiful message by Emmanuel. First, he shows to us that those who have not brought Jesus to their hearts yet have accepted Jesus as truly not this figure that is on the cross, this figure that's suffering, but really our guide and model. Those people, as he says here, are buried in graves of indifference, selfishness, and denial. So how many of us ourselves, right, are sometimes in this as he says here, in this grave, in this tomb, being surrounded by our own selfishness, right? Our needs, what is good for us, our denial sometimes of the purpose of our lives. We see that our lives are showing us a way to a certain path, but we deny, right? We keep fighting with life because we want things to go a certain way or another direction. But when we bring Jesus, really, as he says here, touched by Jesus, we are resuscitated by his love. We know by his example, as we will go through challenges in life, as Jesus went through the crucifixion, the humiliation, but at the end of it all, he was still loving, he was still kind, he was not there complaining, right? He knew, because he knew, he had the certainty that life was eternal, that was just passing, right? That was a phase. And he understood, he didn't have in his heart, as he is going through martyrdom, he didn't have anything in his heart, is just loving and understanding, because he said, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. So with that, my first takeaway is that Jesus comes really, as he did with Lazarus, to take us out of that tomb, that selfishness, that denial, that indifference, to have this beautiful vision of life eternal. As we just celebrate Easter on Sunday, we know that life is eternal. But then there's the second part of this message, that is what happens afterwards. We are here together, and you by yourself already being touched by this infinite love of Jesus, knowing that life is eternal. But then Emmanuel explains to us what happens next, right? As it happens with Lazarus, people will then look at you different. They will not really understand. And he says they might have knowledge of life eternal, but remember, they may not be ready yet to understand our master fully. So they're there, but they're observing you. They are not maybe yet on the same page with you, but they are there and they're looking at you. And then I think the second part of this message is then the responsibility that is on us after we have received this nourishment in our souls. What do we do with it, right? We can say, as Emmanuel puts to us here, in the tomb of the death, or really we can raise and edify and change things in our lives, right? And people might not understand yet, but he's saying that this is fundamental, because when they are ready, they will look at you and they will look at your example and they will follow after you. So we're really a catalyst, right? We're used because through us, how many others might have this beautiful knowledge that come. Emmanuel says, they will not only begin to receive the clarity of true faith through you and acknowledge the power of Jesus due to your transformation. So let's bring this close to us, right? As we're going through this pandemic, many of us are enclosed in our homes. Some of us, unfortunately, we cannot, right? Some of us have to be there in the front lines. But as many of us are at home, what can you do inside family? And sometimes it's not words, it's really actions. It's putting into practice, right? Transforming our lives. So not only receiving this knowledge, but really changing ourselves, making sure our lives are also transformed. And people see it. They will see the difference. Yes, if it comes, we'll share with words. Also social media, right? We're here, we're connected through Facebook, this beautiful platform. And sometimes it's a message that you share, a picture, a photograph, a video, and that can really be transformative to someone else's lives. So, as the message is titled today, do not forget. I believe that the mentors are asking us to not forget the responsibility that we have, because if we have been awakened as we see with Lazarus, if we receive this blessing, then now it's our turn to transform our lives, and then with that transform the lives of those around us. So I hope this can fill our hearts with hope and courage as we march forward. We now invite you to our last moment is to again raise your thoughts and pray and connect with God. I will play the Ave Maria, and we invite all of you to close your eyes if you can. Stay in a place where you're quiet. Um, and let's use these moments really as true healings for our soul. So as we close our eyes, let us feel that this very moment, rays of healing light are falling upon us. Like beautiful petals of white roses. We feel that the petals are being poured upon us, and as they touch our physical body, they are transformed into healing light that surround all of us. And as we are now enveloped by this healing light, we see this light extending through our house, our neighborhood, our state and city, to the whole country, until we visualize the whole planet being surrounded by this healing light that falls upon it like beautiful petals of white roses. And as we see our planet receiving this healing light, we raise our thoughts to our Creator. Dear God, how small we are in this planet, in the solar system and galaxy. But even being so small, we know how much we are loved by you equally, and how much help, support you send each and every one of us. You love us so much, Father, that you assign an individual guide to come to earth to be our model, that today we can truly feel the love of Jesus for us, knowing that He showed us the pathway of eternal life, bringing us hope, courage, and faith. And by knowing of this eternal love, we feel stronger to support our planet in this transformative phase. That those who are suffering at this very moment in hospitals, shelters, on the streets, at home, they can feel your embrace and your love, knowing that you are personally taking care of each and every one of them. And with much gratitude in our hearts, we ask your protection and your permission to close these moments of prayer and nourishment to our souls. And so be it. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us today in this beautiful moment. And we invite you to join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here with you for our daily prayer program at Kardec Radio. Have a beautiful evening or day whenever you are, and feel our loving embrace. Have a great day. Bye bye.